60 feet,
And there's not that much difference in
right?
price, really.
But it needs to be repaired.
Well, that's
Yes.
for a month.
Not bad at all.
I hear that Thomson is not gonna be bigger than that, I think.
Where?
I don't know. I didn't get that
Oh,
many.
drop it.
minutes.
I was asked
For bacteria.
if we do a road review.
You don't drink it.
Is that something that-
Well,
Josh does?
it's been on the to-do list, but it's not been done.
He was telling us.
Hey, did Richard?
How you guys doing?
He knows that the donation.
He's Logan not gonna make it.
Council says he's not coming. Is Logan, did he call in?
Yeah, he said he's not gonna make it. He's like coaching or something.
He got called on that before, whatever. Absolutely.
Not the last 20 years.
There is softball, my sisters are.
He does
Somebody hit a good one.
Yeah.
When I was walking in, I heard a dinger and a bunch of cheering and,
Must have been a homer.
okay,
Look at this.
our meeting order.
Yes.
So it's the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Always want to be a 4-H from there.
Hey, take a look at the minutes. Look for approval.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
I'll second that.
Motion from Ruth and a second from Gary to accept the minutes as written. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Yeah, we'll take a look at the vouchers next. Pretty small list. I don't see anything, nothing jumps out at me.
I'll make a motion to approve payroll bills in the amount of $97,289.01. Round to the nearest nickel now that there's no pennies in
There's no pennies. I heard the motion and I'll second it.
Motion from Nathan, second from Ruth. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Passes. Correspondence, we had a letter from Christine Bard. Is she here? Read it as soon as I find it here. Here, Town of Thomson board members, my name is Christine Baird. I am helping out with Esko youth soccer again this season, and I am in charge of reserving field space. I'm writing to you to request the use of the green space at Northridge Park for soccer fields on which to hold soccer practices and some soccer games between July 20th and September 24th, 2026. The past couple of years, we've had roughly 35 youth soccer teams ages 14 and younger, and we simply don't have enough fields between the school and the athletic complex to allow for all the kids who want to play soccer to have adequate practice time and spaces for games. Our new soccer president is hoping to secure land and build new fields in the near future, but in the meantime, we are still hoping to be able to use Northridge Park. We're asking for permission to use the space for both U6 and U8 age groups, just as we did last year. Those practices and games would be held between 5 and 8 p.m. Sundays through Thursdays from July 20th through September 24th, 2026. We are only requesting access to the green space and would not need to use the building. I have enclosed certificate of insurance from Arrowhead Youth Soccer Association. This is the same certificate used last September and it expires at the end of August, but I will request a new one for September as soon as the request can be made. Please contact me via phone or email if you would like to discuss the request for field space more closely, or if you have further questions. Sincerely, Christine Baird. What do you all think?
Well, we've done it before. I have no issue with it myself. We don't need a motion on that, or do we? To request a space.
Yeah, I think as long as they're not using the building, they don't even have to go through the rental.
No, they shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
I don't have any problem with it. However, we may be doing some updates to the ground itself. There's some low spots that we haven't got approval of it yet, but it's possible we might be able to level those up. In that, and I'm not 100% sure where these practice fields were, but I think they might interfere with that spot right there. I'm not sure. But we would certainly work with them.
Yeah,
If that were
well,
the
we can-
case.
Yeah,
Just an FYI.
Well, maybe just a phone call for Christine on that and say, hey,
Be
just
flexible.
an FYI is all.
all right.
Makes
Sounds
sense.
Good.
You want me to call her?
Sure. You want to?
Okay.
Yeah, you're on the park board.
Okay, next, citizen comments. Has anybody signed up to speak here tonight?
I didn't see anything signed up right before we started.
Okay. Old business, legal RFP. Gary, this is gonna be you.
Yeah, so, one of the, things that we decided we would do is to put together the interview questions, and Logan and I got together on a couple of occasions. I spoke to a number of people for input from different organizations. And we came up with this list of 6 questions, so.
Number 3 and 4 are the same question. So I don't know if that's a misprint or if there's another question that got skipped over.
There is another question, and I wonder if I have it with me. I will forward that to everybody.
Okay.
Did you just notice that?
Yeah, I just, a little bit ago, I was reading it.
I can't tell you how many times I reread this. I did not see that.
Board
But
vision.
yes, there is another question, and I cannot think of what it is, but it's in keeping with his legal services needs. So I think we're at a point where we need to set up some interviews.
Yeah,
Well, and I'd like to strongly recommend bringing in outsiders for the interview committee and not using the town board members.
Are you saying to have no town board members on the committee?
well, there should be at least one, if not two.
Possibly, yeah, maybe I would say one and then a couple community members rather than going with the 5 board members.
Can I offer a thought?
Yeah,
The board hires the legal counsel. The legal counsel works for the board. I mean, the client is the town board, not anybody in the community at all. So I mean, that's the attorney-client relationship
Okay,
is between is between legal counsel and the board itself. So, I mean, just, that'd be my thought is you probably want to have questions from the board. There may be other people that have things, but whoever you hire isn't going to have any duties to anybody outside the board.
all right, thanks for.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for explaining it that way. Appreciate it. All right, back up that statement.
So you think there's any way that we could do interviews before our next board meeting? Because we're already into May.
I
We
know,
wanted to have this done by,
June 1st.
Yep.
I remember that.
And we would, I assume we post these, this isn't covered under. We couldn't close this for attorney client privilege. These would have to be posted meetings, right?
The interview-
If there's a quorum present.
So you can, you're talking about for the open meeting
Yeah.
question. So there are employee issues. But your counsel isn't an employee. There are attorney-client privilege issues. I don't know whether that would come up, but if the board wants to ask some questions about things that are pending or something like that, then there is attorney-client privilege on things of that nature. But I have to get you an answer on that because I've never thought about it that way, so.
Yeah, my assumption is that these would be posted in public, but I just want to make sure.
Yeah,
Which
well,
I'm
if
fine
if it's open or closed, either way, you still post it.
Right, yeah,
But I just, let me get you an answer on whether I think that should be, or whether it could be closed.
okay.
So,
That puts pressure on if we want to get it done in the next 2 weeks.
yeah, so would everybody be available in 2 weeks? From now, if we did like the first one at,
On the 21st. Because we do have a board meeting that day too,
on the 21st?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I'm out of town after the 22nd, so.
well, I'm thinking the 21st, if we did like the first one at 3:30 and the second one at 4:15.
Yeah, but lawyers talk a lot.
Yeah, well, they're gonna be cut off because they only got 6 questions.
Yeah, we're only gonna ask 6 questions, so. I don't think that'll. And I've also.
Lighten up.
I'm sorry. I was just looking at my calendar. The 21st is our town hall. Okay, yeah. So earlier in the day. Yeah, that would work.
I think that's a good idea, actually.
I'm good with
Okay, will
that.
you contact the 2 applicants and see if that'll work for them? One of them at 3:30, one at 4:15.
Check on that, yep.
one of the applicants would be okay with that.
Okay. I kind of thought one might know.
4:15 work?
Probably not.
Why?
Well,
We're
talk
meeting
fast.
At 5 o'clock,
It's 45 minutes,
5 minutes.
plenty of time,
Okay,
All right.
6 questions.
Well, and there's discussion. Oh,
Well, we might have to hold our discussion until during the meeting,
Oh, I see.
possibly, you know,
Okay.
so.
All right. April, May 21st.
Got my calendar too.
You're okay with either time?
Yeah, either way. I'll shoot you a email tomorrow with an answer on that.
Okay.
Closed. No idea.
Yeah.
And Gary, in the meantime, you're gonna send out the correct question for number 4 to us.
Yes, I was just seeing if I had it in my phone here. And I don't think I do. All right. Sorry about that, guys.
Sorry.
that's all right.
Yeah, it's not.
Okay, on to new business. Personnel reviews / feedback. Gary, I think you put this together for us, right?
Yeah, and I'm transitioning to the personnel thing. Yes, so what you have there is a questionnaire to provide to, if you would just send it to me, then I will write an evaluation and share it with everybody, and then we will then have the opportunity to sit down with Tiffany, either individually, one of us or two of us. I would presume two of us would do that from the personnel team.
Yeah.
So the questions, I won't go through them either, but they're fairly straightforward. And if you don't have an answer, you don't have to put an answer. If you don't have the experience of what the question is asking, just say you don't have anything to add. But I'm just looking for feedback from everybody else
On the questions itself.
on the questions that are
in front.
listed in,
Okay.
on the sheet.
All right, so you're just looking to say it, see if we want to correct what you've put so much time into putting together.
Yeah, I'm not looking for corrections in I'm looking for your answers. Those are questions that you are asking yourself on how you view Tiffany. And then if we put all of your feedback together, we can create a report, and that report then can be provided to Tiffany so she knows where she stands.
And then she'll be filling these out for the,
We're not there yet.
okay.
We're not there yet. And however, when we do that, that is kind of the process that Tiffany might follow, because Tiffany will be doing the reports for the subordinates, not
Right.
us.
Okay,
Right.
yeah, okay,
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and that would be the same with the maintenance team
once we get a,
once, but we're not there
Yeah.
and we don't have to get too far ahead of ourselves.
Right.
If we can get this, see how it works, make sure that we're all comfortable with the process. And I'm not there yet. I don't think until after we get Tiffany on board with her abilities and skills that we would want to attack that.
right,
Does that
Very
make
good.
sense to you, Tiffany?
so we'll get those filled out and get them back to you.
Yeah, and if you can just bring them to throw in my mailbox or let me know or drop by my house, however you want to do it. But I'd like to get this done also before the 15th of June.
Okay,
Give us a date,
The 15th of June,
June 15th, for sure. All
no
right,
later than.
okay,
not a problem.
not a problem.
Thank you for putting that together.
Yeah,
Okay, also under new business, fire truck, Kyle.
So during the annual meeting, we talked about the replacement of combining two trucks into one. We need to get a spec written and or look at a truck that will be available for 2027. The truck that's available 2027 is a 75-foot Quint. Very similar to what we'd be looking at. It is a very cookie cutter truck, so it keeps the cost as low as possible. That one available would be 1.495. If we wait, we can spec a truck. It will be 36 months from the time that we place an order, roughly. And they're telling me if we sign this year, it'll be between 1.5 and 1.6. I was asked to look into the cost of a pumper, which would be more of a rescue pumper to take the place of the aerial if we did not go back to an aerial, 1.1 to 1.2. So there wasn't a huge difference, but again, speaking out about the buildings that most people don't think about in Thomson Township, it's probably not a bad idea to reiterate them, but we have 3 30,000-gallon propane storage facility tanks. We have 2 trucking facilities that are still steel buildings with huge hazmat potential. We have a Essentia building that is over 50 foot tall, and we would not be able to get up onto a roof with a air handler and or furnace fire up on those buildings. We have 3 brand new 22 unit apartment complexes that are coming online. We have Wittises, we have Don Dens, excuse me, not Don Dens, Don Hanson's, but it's something different now. I can't remember what it is.
Just Esko Trucking.
Esko Trucking, the building across the street, Schwann's, Ram. And then we have a few, assisted living centers that have extremely high roofs, that we would need to be able to cut into. So the truck is something that is very necessary in my ever to be humble opinion. For us to safely continue to do that, our truck is going to be 30 years old and will need to be replaced. Again, combining our old tanker, excuse me, our old engine and our aerial into one truck instead of purchasing two would then also save money, looking at that as well. So what I'm asking for is to either look at the cookie cutter one that is already available in 2027, or approval to spec and look at signing before the year is out to get another aerial coming in.
All right, what do y'all think? I think we should order one. I like the 30-month break, because if you look at our capital improvement plan, we've already talked to this with the public. We've been very transparent that this is what we're gonna do, is the route we're gonna take. They're all aware of it, and it's in the capital plan for 30 months from now. The first payment is already in the plan with 2 payments every year following. So that would be my suggestion, would be to go with the ordering one. Because if we go with the one that's gonna be available here sooner or next year, that's not in the capital plan. So then we have to find, you know,
Room for it.
yeah, a lot of money to make that payment.
So what are the terms on these payments? 2 payments a year? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, that's how it's set up in the capital plan. That's how we've done it in the past.
Tony, is that from is that from a lender or from the manufacturer or?
That loan, that's just what's in the capital plan. There is
Okay.
no loan that's actually.
Okay, so we'd have to
we haven't
borrow the
applied-
money
yeah, we
to
haven't
do that.
applied yet.
And there's
But-
really
Did
these,
they not have financing right through them?
They do with terms upwards of 15 years.
so if the town went and borrowed its own money, you could do it, the most you could do is a certificate of indebtedness, which is a 5-year, by statute, it's a 5-year payback. You know, and I think, you know, the local banks, there's a couple of local banks that do that kind of municipal financing. But otherwise, the terms through the manufacturer would be probably better than what you can get locally.
Yeah, that's another nice thing I think about waiting the 30 to 36 months too, is it gives us a little time to figure out the loan and our best option. No, what do you think, Ruth?
I think we should go with a pumper truck. I know I've heard the buildings that we have that are tall, but cost wise and just an opinion on my score, I'd rather see a pumper truck versus the ladder truck. Yes, for my opinion.
Just to save the money. to save
That's a good part of it, yes.
Well, I'm inclined to go with the 1.4, the 36-month deal. I don't want to say it's not that much more. It's a lot of money, but it is also something that, you know, just based on Kyle's comments, we need it. The pumper trucks, as effective as they are for what they do, won't necessarily meet the needs that our community is, you know, growing into.
We're getting bigger.
We're getting bigger.
taller.
We have things that, I mean, I just think of the Essentia building itself. If something were to happen there, what would we do? So that's my opinion.
what would be the difference between having an engine versus getting the aerial ladder truck. And then if we had an engine, you know, Cloquet and Carlton both have ladder trucks.
Sure, and so does Proctor.
Uh-huh.
The issue is if they're available.
Hmm.
Really what it comes down to. The Carlton's truck is a 2010, so it's currently 16 years old. It has another 14 years worth of life out of that. And they're not sure they're gonna be able to replace that one when that one goes. They have an aging out engine currently that is past its replacement time. And they're fighting with the funds to replace it. Okay, again, if they're available, they're looking at purchasing in the next year for somewhere between $2 and $3 million on replacing theirs. The availability is really going to be the issue. What scares me is not having the tools that we currently have. And then we go in and need it and it's not available. We're holding the bag and not being able to do anything with it.
Mhm.
And we're gonna sit there and look at it and say, what? You know, I won't have the tools to do the job that I'm capable of doing currently today. Does it get used a lot? It does for other things than the aerial device, but again, it is a rescue aerial device. We use it out on the freeway for auto extrications. We use it out on the freeway for a blocker because it's large. We use it for Jay Cook State Park for water rescue, swift water rescue, rope rescue scenarios out in the park. We use that truck for structure fire, second out engine, and also the aerial device. So it is a multi-purpose vehicle.
So it wouldn't be infrequent.
What's up?
It would not be infrequent.
The truck would not be used infrequent, no. The aerial device on the top of it would be used less frequent than the rest of the truck, correct?
Do we have to make that decision tonight? Tony,
We don't have to, personally.
just thinking out loud.
Gary,
Is
you
there
have a
some-
question?
No, I don't have a question. The longer we wait, the chances of that, what are the, that's a good question.
That's the thing. I don't
Yeah,
like
how
waiting.
long do we wait and lose that 36-month opportunity?
Well, the 36-month opportunity is there, but that's just putting our truck older and potential for more outages with maintenance on them at the age that they are. Anytime something happens to that aerial, it's expensive to repair. It's not cheap, and with it getting close to 30 years old, we're just, you know, if something happens between now and then, there could be a large expense or take it out of service. The 36-month isn't gonna change. I mean, we don't have to make a deposit. What we're doing is sitting down with the spec, and once we get a spec built, then we need to sign. So if that was 2 months from now, I guess, we'd need the approval, but I don't wanna waste the time, no disrespect when I say that, doing a spec on a truck that we're not gonna do. I don't have that time to waste. So I guess I'm looking for the approval to do the spec, find out exactly what it's gonna cost in that 36 months, because it's gonna be a little bit more than the 1.495. That can be anywhere between 1.5 and 1.6 is what they're saying. So, but if we sign before the year's out, we're gonna be in that 1.1516. When I started looking at these 3 years ago, you could buy one for $1 million. You wait another 3 years, it's gonna be $2.5 million. Now, that's not signing. If we spec it and sign before the year's out, that price is locked in for the 36 months from now. Doesn't matter what the truck goes up, our price is locked in for the 36 months from now.
Yeah.
And the interest rates, I believe, were 4s or low 5s on a 15. I just don't have it with me.
John?
Got a question. Has the math been done by the town board so that they can afford the payments on the loan?
Capital improvement.
Yeah. It's already in the capital plan 30 months from now, not next year.
So would we be looking at taking out a loan for this or? And then we've got a public works facility on top of that we want to get going on.
That's, I mean, ideally that public works facility happens in the next 3 years. I mean, we're working towards that ideally sooner.
Yeah,
And then hopefully we could bond maybe for the whole thing altogether.
well, and I'd be certainly in favor of trying for capital investment on the public works facility, if that's an option. I don't know, there's a lot of money and a lot of stuff we need.
Yeah, these are all things that we discussed at the meeting or the annual meeting. And nothing has changed in that regard. It's just a tough decision.
I think the financing is a big part of it. You know, and you might wanna, you know, the certificate of indebtedness is the kind of the easiest short-term solution, but it's a maximum of 5 years. So if you did a bond, you could stretch that out over a much longer period of time and probably get your best interest rate with bonding. Cause the town has an excellent credit history and credit record, so, that would probably be the best way to do it. If you're gonna do that, I would maybe do more than one project. So that you kind of wrap it all up. The problem with the bonding is that there's significant transaction costs, so you don't wanna do several small bonds, you just wanna do one big one.
Yeah,
It's way better to do it that way. So if you have multiple things coming up, then, you know, that would not be a bad thing.
So doing the truck and the public works building
Mhm.
together. is a
Yeah,
good-
that or even add in a, you know, what, if the town has an assessment cause the problem with assessments is the town has to front those costs. So if you have a large paving project somewhere, you know, you need to pay for that, and then how do you gonna front that, so.
Right.
So, you know, if something does, so, and just thinking about that, if something does come up on an assessment, where you need that, you could do a certificate of indebtedness in a short term to borrow it, you know, and provide the money for that kind of improvement project, and then roll that into the bonding in 2 or 3 years. So, you know, and I don't know if we have anything currently. There's one thing that Josh brought up this week on Evelyn Street, so, but I don't know if there's any other large assessment projects that would happen.
Citizen comment.
Yeah, go ahead, John.
Fire department needs a decision. I'd say fish or cut bait and go for the ladder truck. I don't like the property taxes going up any more than anybody else, but I mean, the decision has to be made.
Yes.
I agree, John. I mean, if we would have bought this truck 6 years ago when we first started talking about it, they were 800,000. Now they're 1.5.
I'm encouraging the board to make a motion to allow Kyle to get on with his work.
Yeah, I see no reason to delay the decision any further than it has been already.
we don't need to decide on financing tonight.
Right.
Right. That's the nice thing.
Once Dave explained it, that makes a whole lot more sense.
I'll make that motion,
Which one?
to allow Kyle to spec out what we need.
So that would be for the one
36
that's
months.
30 to
Yes.
36
Yeah.
months out.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
We have a motion from Nathan, a second from Gary. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Okay, under new business, fire department roof. So we had a drip by our lockers when we got all that rain the other day. Just a little drip, not a big deal. So I got the roofing company to come out and take a look to see if they could chase down the leak. And they got to the top of the ladder and he looked at it and he said, you need a new roof. He said, I'll start sending you pictures because I got a bum knee right now. So he was up there and he was sending me pictures and the corner had a big hole in it like this. All the rubber going down the side was all pulling out from the metal and it was all gapped and wide open and yeah. So the one, well, about a third of the fire department probably needs a new roof. We talked about it at our meeting and we were guessing, everybody had numbers in their heads, 200,000, 100,000. Well, I got my first estimate back, but it might not be 100%, so we didn't put it in here. But it's well under 100,000. I do have another quote coming, so we'll just wait on that. I just wanted to let you know where we're at with it. Once I get at least 2 quotes, and I'll have them for the next meeting for sure, then we'll make our decision on who to go with there. Just kind of an update. Kyle, did you have anything to add to that?
No, just
Okay.
don't hope for a ton of rain.
Yeah, right. I did have tell one company to come back and patch that corner,
Oh, good.
so,
Just get us through until.
Yeah. right. All right, also under new business, DNR grant smoke testing for task order number 5. Nate?
Yeah, so, the township, we work with WLSSD Resource Renew, and one of the things annually that we do is just make sure that we're keeping track of what's going on with the sewer. So, and we have 2 grant opportunities, that we always have. It's the DNR coastal grant, because we're a coastal city technically, and then WLSSD gets grants. So this year, WLSSD, their grants were pretty low. So, they talked about 1,000 or 2,000 max. So, but, we know the coastal grant folks up in Two Harbors, and they encouraged us to apply, and they said they've got $4,500 grants. And we were at the same time just talking to staff about which part of the sewer system seems to be the leakiest. And, we had talked about this northwest quadrant, lift station 1, just kind of northwest of 61 and Kenosha. So that's an area that we targeted. So we looked into doing smoke testing and to see if we could apply that to the grant. Smoke testing is where you actually open up manholes, you close off all the leads, and then you take a fan, you blow smoke into the manholes, and then anywhere where water drips into the pipes, smoke could get out. So you have a couple of guys out there and you look around and you see wherever smoke's coming out is where water can get in. So it's pretty effective in finding the inflow. So when the rain comes, if there's a gutter connection, you'll see smoke coming out the gutter, or if somebody's foundation drain's connected, you'll actually see smoke coming out of potentially their sump pump, so it catches illegal connections like that too. So, we applied for, and sounds like they are approving right now a $4,500 grant for the township. So I pulled together a task order. We do the smoke testing. Rural Water does it too, but it ends up being, they end up sending a person up, and we found it to be the same cost. So it's just something we do for our clients, not as a big money maker or anything. But the thing that we had talked at the work session about Rural Water, the thing that we need that they don't provide is a report, that DNR requires a report so they can put it on their website saying, hey, here's the investment we made with our grants and here's the benefit we received. So, and so we talked about this last meeting too. So if this is something that you're interested in going for, it's more than half covered by grant, and I would like to investigate to see what's going on in that part of the sewer system in the township, just to see if we can find and eliminate some of that inflow and infiltration, just saving cost for the township and pumping costs and wear and tear on pipes and pumps. So, I don't know if you have anything to add about the particular area or the board.
No,
has any questions?
that's kind of an area where we know there's water downstream from that, but that's kind of the headwaters where I'd like to, we could kind of eliminate that section and then we can kind of work our way downstream further from that. So, no, that's 100% behind you on that there, that section.
Looks good.
So you're looking for a motion to accept task order number 5?
Yeah, if the board wants to move forward with it, I'd ask for a motion and we can get going on the project.
I think we need to do that. So I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve task order number 5.
Second.
Motion from Ruth, a second from Nathan. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Get her done.
Mhm.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to personnel reports. Kyle.
Just that I attended the Carleton County Chiefs Association meeting earlier this month, just ongoing about the future of what Carleton County Fire Departments are going to be doing, and it was a interesting start, and we'll see where it goes. So the next meeting is May 27th. We're sitting around 120 calls for the year, and other than the roof leak, things have been going pretty good. So that's all I got.
All right, Josh.
Hang on, the road crew started 410s on Monday. Our newer hiree, I got him busy doing repairs, so he's been kind of nonstop fixing a bunch of our equipment. And then the rest of us have been out kind of still cleaning up after winter or, winter vests and stuff. I did have the state come and do the water testing for the park. And that passed, and then the park is open now, so then there is an event there next week, I think. But I did have them also do the town hall, and then the fire hall, and the garage, and everything passed except for the garage. It's not serious, but it's not drinkable water, so that's something we need to address sooner, down the road here. And then, also too, the roof does leak over there, so I don't know if you want to have them come take a look at that. It's the main building, it's not really, I haven't noticed any leaks, but there's that the whole back part of that building when you first walk in, where you guys get fuel there, that back part's leaking, and I don't know if that thing's salvageable or not. And then when it does rain, we get a river across the floor in there, because it's the whole building. So, new building. But, also I handed out a couple things to you guys. We got quite a few projects this summer that I want to get done, and we're gonna need an excavator. I got some pond repairs to do. And I got quotes from 2 different companies in town here. As you can see, and this doesn't have to be decided tonight, it's just something I kind of want to start planning for. Then also, I'd mentioned before our older dump truck. I've been having Esko Express do the DOT inspections on it, and they told me last time that they will not pass that truck again without repairing the suspension on it. It's an older truck. It's seen its day. I kind of want to replace it with something newer, used. I found a few trucks. I kind of like, but I want to kind of shop some more. And, I can present that to the board once I get more trucks. And then, Logan had mentioned earlier about reaching out to some local companies for hire. And I got you guys some numbers there for, some trucking companies. And then, it's, my 2 cents in it is, yeah, we don't have to buy another truck, but also our days planning changes sometimes by the minute with the weather and stuff. So it would be nice to have our own truck, but, like I said, that we can look this over some more, discuss this at another time. And I get, more numbers on, trucks I've been looking at.
In the meantime, do you want to rent from someone as your list shows, or is that what you're asking?
Well, we got some time yet. Road restrictions are still on. Well, actually, they're coming out soon, but we got some other projects right now in the works where we don't need another truck right off the bat, but it's something I kind of wanna.
This would be more so when you're like getting into a big project and you need to have 2, 3 trucks running
Right.
nonstop.
Well, there's a few roads we wanna haul gravel on, and we only have 2 trucks right now that we can use for that. So I'd like to hire, if we don't decide not to get another truck, I'd like to hire another truck.
Yeah, yep.
But then also, we need an experienced driver to be able to do what we're doing, and then also, kind of watch out for power lines. There's kind of an insurance thing involved in that too.
Nice job of pulling together some
And,
information.
we do have the staff to put in another truck if we decide to get one.
Sure. Yeah, looks good. Just keep us informed.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Got some thinking to do.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Okay. Nate, what else you got?
I've got kind of a big one here on, it got brought to our attention that, St. Louis County is doing a project on the Midway, and we found that they were putting detour signs on town roads, so I dug into that. And it sounds like, they had reached out to the township, to Jonathan about a year ago, and he gave them permission then, to do a detour. But on my update sheet, I provided a map to you guys of what the detour actually is. So it'd be, the single page, the letterhead.
Oh, not the picture.
Oh,
Little map on it. So they're actually planning to detour all midway traffic on 35-2 in Proctor. So we wouldn't take any, in theory, midway traffic on town roads. It would actually just be the St. Louis County Road?
Stark Road and.
No, it'd be,
St.
so it'd be the North Cloquet Road, traffic that we would be pushing up onto basically, a section or two of Stark and then one block of one section of Erickson. So, that's the proposed detour. I did check traffic counts. It's like 300 cars a day is what in theory goes on North Cloquet Road. So that's, in theory, what we would be diverting onto town roads. I asked about the ability to switch the detour, potentially sending them south onto Old 61. That seemed like a better option than sending them another section north to go another onto county roads to the north. So that, they didn't seem extremely interested in that on the county road, and seeing that they feel like they already had permission. So, but they did offer like, hey, instead of marking a detour route, they offered up just saying road closed through traffic. so that they wouldn't necessarily direct traffic onto town roads. Cause the problem ends up being that you know, if we would divert them up another, you know, onto county roads, Google's still gonna route them onto town roads. So unfortunately, unless we, you know, close off the roads or, you know, folks wait until the road closed sign is there before, and they turn around. So we got to this point, they haven't, I actually drove it today. Stark Road isn't, you know, it's not in the best shape, but it's not in the worst shape. My biggest concern actually is some of the pavement at the end of Erickson. I know, okay, it's kind of really busted up. So I asked if there was any conversations about compensation. There hadn't been any conversations. So I guess the ask that I gave the county is if we could push traffic a different direction, and I think it'd take quite a bit more effort to redesign and get a detour going onto, say, Old 61.
Well, you know, something I live off the North Cloquet Road. A lot of the people that come on the North Cloquet Road, then they go down to the Midway Road, go down to the freeway. Maybe they'll get off in Esko or something else and get on the freeway instead of going up here or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's gonna actually go till August.
I don't know, the end of August.
So, cause they're cutting the road down quite a bit and adding turn lanes. So it's actually it's like 3 months that they're expecting this to go on. So
August 28th.
yeah, so it's not gonna be a short detour, but
Right down by your place, John.
Pardon?
It's pretty close to your place.
Oh, we're on the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's right. You guys are,
We'll be on effectively a dead end.
yeah.
So can I just add a couple of quick things in? So I also talked to St. Louis County, and their original route seems to be Stark to Erickson and down Erickson to the North Cloquet.
Right.
I know Erickson has some pretty rough spots. They patched it last year. And Steve from St. Louis County said that they were working with the township to work on those spots. I don't know if you can remember during our conversation with Carleton County that they're planning on doing some work on Highway 61 right by, they're replacing a big culvert this year to get ready for the Highway 61 resurface, and I can't remember which road that is.
yeah,
So I wonder if St. Louis County and Carleton County are talking, because that may be torn up as well. So they're going to have to rearrange their detours a bit.
I have another sticky wicket to add into that. The state is detouring. They're gonna rebuild Highway 2 from Midway Road up to 194. So they are detouring up Kenosha or up Midway and up to 194 and then over to 2 that way. So I wish these people would get their heads together.
If you want to go somewhere, I go now.
Right, yeah, good point, Jerry.
I got postcards from the state 2 weeks ago and a postcard from St. Louis County last week. And where one detour from St. Louis County ends, the detour for the state begins, and vice versa.
Construction season.
Have to avoid it.
I don't think you were aware of that one.
so yeah, I know on the 61 one, but not on
Highway 2.
2, no. So yeah, I guess where we're at is they had been given permission to be on town roads. They're willing to adjust their signage to not, direct traffic onto town roads. If we
Both of those are
really
county
want.
roads.
I do like that it's.
I would also say I've driven that way a number of times last week and this week, and St. Louis County has already founded the sign standards in.
Yep. Yeah, so they actually had the pre-construction meeting this week, so they're ready to start construction here, I think, next week. So
Well,
It's gonna be Monday, they were gonna start closing.
the preliminary stuff is starting next week. They said they weren't going to start the actual construction until June 11th, was it?
unless the board has any other thoughts, Yeah, I guess that's where that sits.
All right. I don't know that there's much that we can do other than be glad that they're gonna change the signs to road closed.
How about negotiating for compensation for the wear and tear?
Did you ask something about that, Nathan?
I did.
Repairing,
They said that they hadn't figured out any after they got permission, so.
Unlikely that they.
And then there was precedent for detours onto town roads, but nothing of this length, so which was the original concern why we looked into it, so.
I see you're gonna pave Randall Avenue this week or this month.
Yep, that's the other update. We finally got a date from those folks. Randall Avenue is getting paved, the week of the 26th, the, plants are opening up and they're gonna pave it that week. So we're gonna have our surveyors out there. It's called blue topping, little, feathers will stick up out of the gravel and they'll grade it back and forth, get the grades ready for paving. So that should be early this spring, getting wrapped up.
great.
So. And I've, kept things moving on the capital improvement, kind of the road plan that we had talked about too. So, I'm gonna be working on building stuff internally with Chris Ambule. If you would remember, interviewing, he was the one who interviewed with me. And then, I'll be reaching out to you guys to prioritize things too.
All right. Jerry, anything to say?
Where do I start? Let's stay on road construction since it's so fun. So I am writing a letter right now to Carleton County talking about the Highway 61 reconstruction. We did have one meeting several months ago now on the roundabout that's being planned. We haven't really gotten any updates other than they were at the new parking areas over by the dental office, what, 2-3 weeks ago. And they kind of want to start redoing those and relining them and stuff. They still haven't brought that to the board yet, so I'm kind of waiting for Janine to do that. There's been a lot of talk on social media from the community about that roundabout and safety concerns. Not only during school with crossing guards, but because the school is utilized so heavily after hours, they're worrying about kids crossing through that roundabout during, going to practices, after school events, concerts, you name it. During the presentation that they did here, they looked at Jordan, Minnesota as one of the accomplishments of a roundabout near a school. So I ended up reaching out to their school board chair and asking about that roundabout. And she says, absolutely, it works great, only because of one thing. We insisted that they put the push buttons at the roundabout that warn that pedestrians are in the walkway. And she basically wrote in an email to me, if they think they're going to put those in and that being very safe without those push buttons, I think they're mistaken. So I do want to pass that on to Carleton County. I'm kind of hoping they'll do another community forum or go to the school board or invite our board and your board together to really look at the final plans. Every time they present them, it seems like they're quite different from the plans that they previously introduced. So I'm still working on that. It's been a busy month and a half or two at the school. Superintendent Fisher is now retiring and moving on to a different job as the executive director of the Minnesota Rural Education Association. So for the first time in 20 years, we're having to hire a superintendent. So in the last month and a half or so, we hired a company called Rising Tide to help us with the search. We developed the profile for the position, getting input from the community, from the teachers and the board. It was all compiled, and using a rubric, we decided to come up with the profile that we needed for that position. So we posted the position, closed it after 3 weeks. We've got 5 candidates. We used another rubric, just not looking at names or anything to whittle that down to 3 names. Those names were published, and last night I held a special meeting. Since those names were released to the public, it was an open meeting and anybody could come and watch the interviews. So we interviewed 3 people, and by a unanimous vote, we agreed to offer the superintendent position to our current high school principal, Greg Haxum. I called Greg last night and he accepted the position. So as Alexander Graham Bell once said, as one door closes, another one opens. We have a high school principal to hire. We have a community ed director and an administrative assistant to hire. So we still have a little bit of work at the school. Good news is that there are only 22 days left for the seniors and 26 days for the rest of the school. So it's really winding down to a slow crawl, and summer is about among us, I guess. One other quick thing, I did end up going to the Cloquet School Board meeting, and I don't know if you all read the news, but the Cloquet School Board voted, if the Carlton and Renshaw collaboration goes through, the vote that's going to be held next Tuesday in Renshaw. If the consolidation passes, they voted to have Carlton removed from the CEC program. So it will now be CE sports. So it appears like that's a done deal. More to come on that if the consolidation passes. Other than that, nothing new. Thanks.
Thanks, Jerry. I'll move on to reports from board members. Nathan?
All right, let's see if I remember everything. I talked about this at the work session we had, but I'll just explain it again so we can get it in the minutes and everyone's aware. But the original plan with the fire district going forward for the local option sales tax only included the referendum in the city limits of the city of Cloquet and the city limits of the city of Scanlon, and that tax would only be applied within those 2 cities if it passed. They've received information from attorneys on the House and the Senate side. Both are giving them different information, but both are saying that the current path that they're going on to try to get that through the tax bill is not correct. And so we're anticipating voting at our next board meeting to amend the language of that local option sales tax bill to where it would, the referendum would be held in and the tax would apply to the entire service area of the Cloquet Area Fire District if it were to pass. That's a significant change from before. It doesn't mean a whole lot for us, other than the fact that we will be voting on this local option sales tax proposal if the legislature chooses to pass it, and it would be applied to Thomson Township. I attended the Spring Township short course, talked a lot about maintaining township roads, and I think having that road plan and that sewer plan developed is a good thing. And also the crack sealing and filling that we did last year it's one of the best ways to extend the usable life of a paved road. So I think it would be good to see us do that on a little bit of a more frequent basis. I also attended the Carlson County Association of Township Officers meeting last week. Really the only notable thing, the county highway department, we all know is planning on doing 61 next year. And then this is tentative, it could change for 2029, but they're looking at doing Kenosha Road and Thomson Road from I-35 north. They're looking at doing North Cloquet Road, and they're looking at doing their portion of West Stark Road, all in 2029. And then there's a county comprehensive land use plan going on. So there is a community workshop on Wednesday, May 20th at 6 p.m. at Scanlon City Hall. And the zoning department encourages everyone to attend that.
Can I ask you one question, Nathan?
Yes.
So I thought about that fire district tax that they're talking about, the 0.5%, and if they open that up to all of the areas. So me, as a service business, anytime I work in those areas, I have to apply that extra sales tax. Have they re-looked to see what they could actually reduce that sales tax to? Because it wouldn't be a 0.5% sales tax or to cover the full amount.
I did ask about that and it sounds like they're still planning on keeping it at 0.5%, but I can bring it up at our board.
It would, maybe that 0.5% would come off sooner is all I'm
Yeah.
saying. It just, they could reduce that percentage if they're
Right.
gonna open that up, because
Or
that.
the term of the tax will be
Yeah.
shorter. Yeah,
Okay, I just, something to think about.
Yeah.
My brain was going after.
I'll ask about that.
Okay.
Mhm. Other than that, that's what I got.
All right, Gary.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to be at the ambulance advisory committee for Carlton this week, and they have, as far as what work they've done this year, they've already had 240 medical calls that they have responded to, which pretty much is in pace with the previous years, recently. They're in the process of onboarding a new EMT, and they're losing some of their EMT part-timers to graduations from school, and they're looking to fill those. They've got some new applications out. The big issue, and it's a cost thing, is that they have been approached by KDEF that they are basically canceling the agreement they had with them effective May 31st in reference to the intercepting of ALS calls. And instead of charging 300, they're going up to 500 effective May 31st. And then after January 2027, it'll go up to $750. So at this point, they're kind of between a rock and a hard spot. They don't really have much ability to negotiate, it sounds like. So they're looking into it, but it looks like those fees will be imposed on them under those circumstances with the ALS intercepts. And I found it interesting that we had a discussion, just a general discussion about conversations that the fire chief has had with the state fire marshal's office, and listening to Kyle's request for upgrading our equipment and the challenges that the cost of all of these things going up puts on every community. We're no different. They're no different. But what is concerning, and this is just a discussion, and nobody's making decisions or anything, is there a new model that needs to be developed beyond the volunteer fire departments that interact with each other? And I don't know what that would be. They don't know what that would be, but it is something that, 5 years down the road, we might look different than we do now. And I just found that interesting. I don't want to expound on, there was no decisions. This is just conversations about forward thinking. And we as a community, I don't know how far out we can think, but every year our fire needs increase and the cost of that goes up. It's a challenge that I don't know how you can prepare for it because there's so many unknowns, but I think the township has done a pretty good job in trying to be responsible. And I just want to comment on Kyle's. I appreciate the work you've done to get us the information that you have, and that the fire department that we have is pretty well run and highly regarded. So
Thank you.
that's pretty much all I've got, other than we had an opportunity to have a Parks and Recreation meeting at the pavilion here a couple of nights ago when we waited for a really cold day. I was so cold when I got out of that meeting that I thought they were gonna have to bring me to the hospital. I was just shivering. It was cold. However, they got a lot of work done, and they are looking to do some upgrades, painting and putting some new equipment in based on their needs and requests from a couple of meetings ago. And they will be publishing or announcing a work day coming up here in the not too distant future, and just be sensitive to that. If you know of anybody who might want to help come and rake and paint and do a little manual labor here, you'd be very welcome. And just look for that. Yes.
Forgot one thing that can relate to that. The next issue of Esko Corner is due on May 11th, so I'll take submissions from anyone who wants to get those in there. And if that's something that they want
Should, yeah,
published in there, I'd be happy to put that in.
all right.
I'll send out an email too later.
Okay, because they haven't decided on a date yet. It depended on a few things to fall into place to make that happen, but it's gonna be in the next 3 weeks, so,
Well, maybe have time for that.
yeah, they might not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something that the community ed could probably put on the sign though.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, once they get the date, they
Right,
could put it on the sign on the corner.
and one of the members of the council is, I don't know if she's a teacher or if she's involved with the school, and she commented that she's got some connections that they can reach out within the school community to
Yeah.
maybe get some young students involved as well.
Esko farm deadline is Mondays.
Yeah.
You know, that,
I just don't know when the publishing date is usually a bit later.
Yeah, not by much. Really, there is no publishing date since all it is it's pushed out to the web now.
Okay.
So, I mean, she could possibly do something, but yeah, definitely the sign is always available. For community, so.
Yeah, we don't use that near enough,
Just rummage sales.
just from yourself.
and just a quick question for Tony.
Yeah.
Or anybody that was here. The two little toys that they have in the chipped area with this, they're little on springs and they go back and forth. One of them is damaged to beyond repair. Do we have a playground equipment company that we've dealt with in the past that we can order from, or is that a one-time purchase thing?
It was a one-time deal. Dave Sonnenberg and I were involved in getting that. So there's no way to go back to it. That was, oh, gosh, that equipment's been in there a very, very long time. But there wouldn't be. It was kind of a,
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I'll just say it was a one-time deal. So
Gary's question is, Tony, who does the school work with for playground equipment?
As far as parts,
Yeah,
St. Croix,
that part.
St. Croix.
Ray,
parts or just buying new? any kind of-
That, the big play system they have right now came from them,
Okay,
but they have a lot of parts. They can get a lot of parts.
Are you thinking of fixing it or just taking it out?
taking it out, well, replacing it. It's just a
Replacing.
small little spring thing you sit on. If
Right.
we can buy something to replace it, that'd be great. Otherwise, we're gonna take the whole thing out of there and then it's gone.
right.
I feel like we talked about
There's
taking it out last spring. Yeah.
But see, there's a concrete base we gotta
Right.
pull out of there with it too.
Yeah,
And I don't know, do we do that or do we just replace?
I'd replace it.
We gotta find the vendor who has it.
Yeah,
So we're not sure who that was.
No, it was a state fair deal.
Okay.
And
If I remember right off the,
mounting it or whatever, the road crew can, modify it to mount it properly.
Yeah.
'cause I've had parents come to me and say, thought we requested that that would be removed and it was still there before somebody gets hurt on it.
it's just one of those spring riders.
Right,
I'll get you the information. I'll send it to you.
right. So that's all I have.
Okay, that was a lot.
Sorry.
Ruth, what do you got?
Some updates after our work session. Tiffany, where do we stand with advertising for our office assistant?
I was gonna bring that up. Well, one thing I need to know is what we want to have for the pay range. I looked at the last person we had labeled as an administrative clerk. She was making $25.99 an hour at full time. And back in 2023, we had an office assistant that was only making $16.23 an hour, but she was very, very, very part-time. So I'm just wondering what pay rate we want and how many hours we want. And then the other part of that is I'm working on updating the job description, and we need to figure out what we want to do for an actual workstation. We're gonna need a desk, we're gonna need a computer, so I don't.
Well, the last one had the corner there. What, is someone else using that corner space now?
Nobody's using the space, but it's not really a desk. It's just a little table.
Right, and that's what the previous person used.
Yeah, so ideally, I would like the new person to be kind of where Leah is, so they can be the first point of contact for anybody that comes in. So I don't know if that means moving Leah's desk over and just shifting things, but like that little table isn't really a desk, it's a table. So I don't know if we wanna keep the new person just at that little table, or if we wanna order them a desk, and then they will also need a computer. Because the computer that was there is now the boardroom computer.
The computer, that's a for sure.
We have monitors, we just need a computer.
Doesn't matter.
Well, I know, we'll need it. You mean replacing, the tables there and putting a desk back in there?
Yeah,
Cause there was a desk there forever until just in the last year or so.
Okay.
Put the tables in there, so a desk in there.
and then like, I don't know if that's just a temporary, if we wanna get that back office set up for somebody at some point, so that.
Right, that's what I thought. That was
Yeah,
the
and
direction
now
we
it's
were
just
heading.
storage, so we're gonna have to figure out where we're gonna move the storage stuff to, so it's kinda.
Well, and I thought that reason we opened that office up was at some point, perhaps Leah move into that office, and then you've got your front person.
Right,
So yeah, moving the storage stuff, that shouldn't be I know, yeah, storage space is a premium, but that's the minor of the issues rather than
Right.
creating space.
I feel like maybe you should talk with Leah and kind of come up with a plan for us.
sure,
Instead of us making a decision and shoving it down your throat.
sure.
Maybe you and Leah come up with kind of a plan. I don't think Dan's gonna move his office. He's probably pretty well anchored in where he is, so. Maybe you two come up with an idea.
Okay.
What do
You
you
know what I
think, a
mean?
wage like 18?
Yeah, I would say just make it a varying, very wide, 18 to 27 or something. And
I would go as high as 27 because that's above what the two persons are.
oh, right,
That high number that you gave was 25, wasn't it?
25.99.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
18 to
18 to
25, yeah.
26 or 20.
18 to 25. I like that idea better.
Yeah.
And how many hours?
But that you and Leo have to figure out what you need.
Okay,
It
You know-
sounds like we would need closer to
Less,
full-time.
less than full-time.
30 hours. No more than, it should be a no more than thing.
Because I think the last person put in like 15 hours a week.
It's not gonna be enough.
Well, depends on what the responsibility
That
is.
was like, that was 4 full days, was it? No.
No, not 4 full days. Well, it changed.
Oh,
Yeah.
It started out different than it ended.
Yeah, I think come up with a plan.
so that's where that sits. We kind of still need to figure out what we actually want before we publish anything.
All right, so a couple other updates. At the work session, we talked about updating our fob system and or going with a digital system for the park and the building. Any report on updates on that?
I have not had a chance to check on that yet.
I thought, okay, I thought Logan was bringing information on that.
I haven't gotten any information from him.
Okay,
Yeah, he did say he was gonna get some.
have we figured out what the water issue is that keeps happening in the town hall?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah, there's a filter that was plugged in the septic system and that was cleaned. And then there was something else that was plugged to that was missed and they were able to find that and everything's all flowing good now.
Okay, right. Just following up on that. And then what did you learn? Or are you gonna talk about your spring course for clerks? Anything that come out of it that was, did you get to go first off?
I did get to go, yes, and it was very good. I have notes, I don't have them with me, so I don't,
That's okay.
I can't tell you off the top of my head, but it was valuable.
Other than that, I'm just looking at some follow-ups. All right, thank you.
All right, Tiffany, what else you got?
Well, I wanted to mention, I did have some technical difficulties with the website. I thought I had put the meeting packet on there. Well, and I did, but it didn't go to the live website. So I talked with them today and it looks like it's working, so I'm hoping that it continues to keep working, but it did end up going live. So the stuff is on the website, but I put it on the other day and I thought it was there and it wasn't. But so that hopefully has been fixed. I have started checking on some different accounting software options. I did a couple demos this week and last week, and I have a couple more scheduled for next week. So I'll start getting some numbers and start looking at what is a realistic option for us. But I have started looking into those things. And I think, oh, and then, we're getting into election season, so I'm starting to gather, what,
Judges,
yeah, the piece of paper they give you, the applications.
Yes.
I'm starting to gather applications for judges. So if you guys know anybody, send them my way, but I do have that on the website. Looking for judges, and I reached out to previous judges and, if you're interested again, let us know. So I think the training is in June for that. That's all I got.
mhm.
Very good. Dave?
A quick question, Tiffany, I was looking for the ordinances, the subdivision and the zoning, and can we get those on the website or?
I will have to check on that.
Okay. Okay, and the reason I was looking is I had 2 calls this week, people asking me if I, because they knew I was town attorney, and I said, I don't know if I've got the most current version, so I looked and I don't see them on there, so.
Yeah, I don't think they're on there. I haven't
Okay.
seen them there either.
I think, those are probably our two most important ordinances. And I think the comprehensive or the comprehensive plan is on there.
Okay,
Maybe it is.
I don't
But
remember.
I just think we should have, ordinances posted. So
Yeah.
I think that if we can get to that.
That's something, if we get this administrative assistant hired, I would like
That'd
to
be-
see every ordinance we have on there.
Right, they
If you
should
go like on White Lake's website and you can find every single ordinance they have, it's all on the website.
Yeah, I think that'd be helpful. So, Gary, I was gonna ask you, that stuff for the park, for Northridge Park. I remember that there were some issues with the county and they were saying that we were in the floodplain and we couldn't do certain things. I wouldn't take that as a final answer because I think we could very easily apply for a variance from the standards that they have, which seem, they're kind of arbitrary, to be honest. At least in my view, they're saying, well, if you add one little thing there, it changes the entire water flow and okay, but if you put something the size of that podium, on the ground, it's not gonna affect the overall water flow for the whole river. So, I
think Dan has been
Yeah.
working
No,
on that.
I was just
Okay.
gonna say, I appreciate that feedback, and it's similar to what Dan and I were talking about just this week.
oh, good,
And this is
okay.
where he came up with we probably can fill these low spots in, but he still wants to just tick off one more,
Right.
just one more person before he makes that decision.
Yeah, it seems like the county's really keyed into that particular issue within the floodplain. And, I think the way we address that is maybe through a variance process if we can't get approvals that we need.
Yeah.
So,
If we do a variance, we talked about that just briefly, but if we were to do that, we want to make sure that we covered everything we want. And at this point,
oh, right,
I
right.
don't wanna,
Well, they were given a static a year ago and we were talking about extending a trail along kind of, at the high part of the floodplain, and they said, oh, you can't,
Yeah.
you know,
Do you have that
don't see
plan
big
from
issues
ARTC?
there, so.
I can send that,
Yeah, I don't have it.
the park plan from Arrowhead Regional Development. I
Oh.
can send it to you.
Would you do that for me?
Yeah,
But yes, that's good feedback, and there are some of those things we have talked about, the
Okay,
variance being
good.
one of them.
And then the last thing I have is, there's questions, I think, for that interview. And are we gonna get those ahead of time, or are you just gonna spring them on us, or,
Yeah, we could send those out. ahead of
what
time.
is the, what's
Sure.
what's the plan? Do we,
We
Yeah,
can
I
do
guess
that.
it'll
I
be up to
will
Logan.
make the correction and, question number 4, and I'll make sure you get a copy of it, David.
okay, no, I just, whenever you get them, that'd be nice to have it ahead of time, so.
I might just leave that the way it is.
See if their answer changes.
Yeah.
See if they know how to read them.
All right, anything else?
Motion to adjourn.
Hold on 1 second. I gotta add one thing, please.
Oh.
Just a second. I will donate any concrete that is needed to replace the new playground equipment.
Oh.
As long as you're not planning to pave the whole playground, we'll be all
Well,
right.
we weren't, but we are now.
Yeah. His name
I
is John
don't
Dawson.
think they'd let us do
Yeah,
that.
I know, John. So,
Thank you, John.
Can I add to that?
yeah, would you, go ahead, Josh.
So there is some, there's a little sidewalk that comes out of the 2 bathrooms over at the pavilion there. They need to be replaced. So John said he's gonna donate all of that. And then also.
I better get my tape measure out first.
Also, I'd like to tie into that project with our sign. If we set the sign up the way it's kind of set up now, we're gonna have to put some kind of rock around it, maintain that. I'd like to pour a slab where that sign goes and set the sign with what's already there on the ground. So we're gonna have to change nothing, just build a slab around it so we can mow and weed whack around that, and then we're not near the sign or nothing. We don't have to deal with any weeds or anything.
I love it.
Very good idea.
Do it.
Do it.
It's kind of my plan before, but I wanted to stay out of that.
So that's a lot of concrete, John.
So John's gonna donate that too, and we'll go from there.
That's just one truckload, John. This is
Kudos.
in 3 different spots.
I draw the line somewhere.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Way to go, John. All right, I think I made a motion, but I was premature, so I'll make a new motion, a motion to adjourn.
We wanted sidewalks for 2, right?
Second.
Motion from Ruth, second from Nathan to adjourn the meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
I have to show you
Well, I know what question it is, number 12.
this. Swing back and forth.
That was a narrow down.
Yeah, we had a list of about 30 questions, and I narrowed it down to about 15. Then Logan and I got together and we narrowed it down.
All right, you do that first.
Let's just do 12.
We got it right.
See you, Dave.
Could I chat with you just a second?
Nobody said anything nasty. All right, so, you know, I don't think Elliot knows that part of his job is full of stuff. And I'm sure you're gonna.
Yeah.
Elders. Yeah, thank you.
Now, that's more bad. Doesn't matter. That all comes from up here.
I know.
These things could be thrown away and we'd be hurt just the same.
I know, well, all right.